Good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna. And I want to raise the question this morning. Have you ever felt like you were in lockdown? You ever felt like, oh my God, I am absolutely in lockdown? Lockdown in my finances, in lockdown in my family issues. I'm in lockdown with respect to my health, my physical body. I'm in lockdown with respect to my career and where I want to go in God. It's an overwhelming feeling sometimes that I'm just simply in a state of lockdown. If I'm talking to you this morning, put it in the chat area. We're going to talk about that this morning in 5 minutes or less. I'm going to give you the text to talk, the takeaway in this morning's manna. But before I do that, I'd like to greet a few people and then get right into the word on this morning. Good morning, Pamela. How are you? Good morning, Gloria. How are you? Good morning, Angela. How are you? Good morning, Brenda. How are you? Good morning, Ori. How are you? Good morning, Ella. How are you? Good morning, Elder Mobley. How are you doing? Brother Pope, how's everything? Vicky, how's everything? Grand rising to you, Betty, as well. Grand rising to you as well. And I want to deal with this whole piece about lockdown. Good morning, Pastor Richard. How are you? Praying for you. Going to email you with what the Lord has given me to give to you. Be encouraged. Be encouraged. Be encouraged. And I want everybody praying and lifting up. Pastor Richard is our pastor, our missionary pastor in Monrovia, Liberia, as well as Abidjan. He's doing so much for the kingdom. And lift up him and Minister Annie. Minister Annie, his wife, is have some health challenges, but we're going to believe God. God's going to do. God is going to move. God is going to continue to grow the church as well. Let me greet some more, and then we're going to get right into the word. Good morning, Verena. How are you? Gloria, how are you? Brother Nesbitt, how are you? Anna, how are you? Erica, how are you on this morning? Look, let's jump right into it. Have you ever felt like you were in lockdown? That you were in lockdown? My finances, my situation, the decisions I have to make, my physical body, my family. Man, I feel like I'm in lockdown, in my grief. Whatever the case may be, here is the text to talk, the takeaway, and I want to speak to what God has given me to share with you. It's a familiar passage of scripture. Let's go to it and hear it again for the very first time. Acts 16:25. Acts 16:25. The context is this. Paul has been ministering. He's been moving forward. And there has been a great response, both positive and negative. It ends him and Silas up in jail. About midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns. Listen to what is happening. They were doing this to God, and the prisoners were listening to them. I know you want to jump right over into the shaking, the gate opening, the guard wanting to take his life. I know you want to jump into that and the start of the church at Philippi. I know you want to jump into that. Pull back, grab this revelation. There's three things when you're in lockdown that is absolutely essential that you do. The first thing is that you got to know, and keeping your heart. People are watching. The prisoners were watching. They were watching. What are these two men of faith? What are these two men who have been unjustly treated? What are these two men who've been talking about this God that they serve? What are they going to do? People are watching, and they're watching you. They're watching you. You're in lockdown, and they're peering at you through the bars that you find yourself in. Hold on, there's a second thing. People are listening. Not only are they watching what you're going to do, they're listening to what you're going to say. They're listening to what you're going to. Are you going to grumble? Are you going to Are you going to complain? There's one guaranteed result when you're in a situation that you will remain That is, start complaining. Start complaining. Come on, Israel. Sit down and talk to the people. Give your testimony and tell them how complaining and grumbling can get you 40 years. Can get you 40 years. You think you're in lockdown now? Do you want 40 on that? The third thing. Four things I want to add in this third thing: prayer, praise, perseverance, purpose. Put it in the chat area. Prayer, praise, perseverance, purpose. Let's go back. They are there because of what has happened. They've been about the purpose that God has brought them to. They've been preaching in the city. They've been chasing out evil spirits in the city. There's such a reaction to this that they have impacted the economy, because here is this person who's been selling her wares, her little idols, and they're upset about that in the economy. And he's caused such an uproar. Prison you go. So you have to understand that this moment that you find yourself in lockdown, prayer, praise, talk to him, praise, give him thanksgiving, even though you find yourself there. Perseverance, don't you give up, don't you give out, and don't you give in, because there's a purpose behind your lockdown. What's your takeaway this morning? Your takeaway is this: lockdown is not a lockout of what God can do. Lockdown is not a lockout of what God can do. The Lord be with you today. His face shine upon you and give you peace. Go ahead, do what you need to do in this lockdown situation. You already know the end of the story. The gates are going to come open. You can be sure of that. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more Morning Manna, and we're going to have prayer as well at 7:15. And God bless you. Have a great day. Share the matter. Don't keep it to yourself. Bye now.